What's up, guys? This is Jack McNeil, or LB Talk 123 here, host of the Real Sports Talk podcast every Saturday night, 11 Eastern. Now, if you want to hear a 10-15-minute video of me talking about the Giants' improbable run to the World Series, check out some of my other videos for that. So I don't want to get into too much of that because now we are in the offseason, but just a little rehash. Jeremy Affeldt was a huge part of that team. The bullpen, the way Bruce Bochy works it, it's something that you just don't see every day. The amount of lefties they had in the bullpen, they traded obviously for Jose Mijares from the Royals. So I mean, they had an array of left-handed pitchers in that bullpen. They had a lot of options to go to. This guy, Jeremy Affeldt, can not only get lefties out, but he can also get righties out. He had a few saves this year. He is dominant in almost every situation that you put him in. His overall numbers on the year: 2.70 ERA, 3 saves, 57 strikeouts. Here's a big one: 1.26 whip. This is a guy, he's a veteran. He's an older guy, but his numbers keep getting better and better throughout his career. Since he signed with the Giants, he went 1.73 ERA, then 4.14 in 2010 when the Giants did win the World Series, 2.63 last year, 2.70 this year. The important things of that is he has won the World Series twice, and both those years he's been an important factor into this Giants postseason and World Series team. His postseason overall stats: he has a 1.37 ERA. That's almost unheard of for a relief pitcher in the amount of innings that he's pitched, almost 20. So, he has put together a pretty good sample in the postseason. He has a lot of experience. He's 33, going to be 34 next year, and he is worth a pretty good amount of money when you look at him on the free agent market. But this year is a weird market. It is a year that is a huge payday for relievers, as we saw Brandon League, former reliever of the Seattle Mariners, go to the Dodgers. And the Dodgers, honestly, in my view, it just looks like they have so much money where even if they sign a lesser free agent in Brandon League, he's not an elite free agent, but they're still going to give him just an extreme amount of money, especially for a reliever. They gave him a 3-year, $22 million deal. This is a 3-year deal, not quite 22, but it is 18. That's $6 million per year for a guy who's going to be 34 next year. Definitely on any other year, it would be an overpay. And it still should probably be considered an overpay, but the value that this guy has brought to this team is pretty incredible. I think if they would have got a 3-year, $15 million deal, no Giants fans would be complaining. I don't think there's a lot of Giants fans complaining about this deal either way because it needed to get done. It's a necessity. It's a necessary evil, really, when you look at it. Is the Giants had this as one of their main offseason priorities. They're obviously going to try to re-sign maybe potentially Melky Cabrera. It looks like Angel Pagan will be gone, but mainly Marco Scutaro and, of course, Jeremy Affeldt. So they got a huge deal out of the way at 3 years, $18 million. That's $6 million per year. Now, he's paid $5 million this year, and I think that's right around his value. So if you're going by what he's providing for the team, I think, honestly, a 3-year, $12 million to $15 million contract in most years would get it done. The fact that he is 34, but then you look at his dominance versus lefties and righties, what he's provided for this Giants team on and off the field. He's a veteran. He's been great in the postseason. He's already won 2 World Series championships. And honestly, the team is extremely better with him than without him. It's just someone that you can't do without at this point unless they were planning to go out and sign Sean Burnett. And with that, there's kind of an uncomfortable factor, letting one of the best left-handed pitchers in the game go for someone who has not pitched on your team versus someone who has won 2 world championships with your team. So, again, I think the money could be an issue, but the Giants, I don't think they necessarily need to worry about the money at this point, winning 2 world championships in the last 3 years. And with the new agreement with MLB, each team will be receiving, $25+ million each year after, I believe it's next year where that, goes into play. So teams are willing to spend a little bit more money, and the amount of free agents, elite free agents on the market are bringing the prices up, and we've already seen Brandon League's price, 3 years, $22 million. I think really what it is a lot of teams are having troubles getting homegrown players, and there are some teams that are exceptions. I would say the Cardinals are a major exception of that. We saw that in the postseason with a lot of firearms guys there with power pitchers. But a lot of teams are looking for relief pitching. It's a lot of teams like the Diamondbacks just desperately need it, and they go out to the free agent market, they go out to the trade market to get things done. So to have Jeremy Affeldt, a very valuable asset to that relief pitching for years to come. And his age might be a factor. I'm not saying at 37 he's going to be, as good as he is now, but he could be. I mean, he obviously has nasty stuff. He doesn't necessarily rely on his fastball, so I think he should be good to go in that area. I think he will be very effective, and I think this Giants team is reassembling with taking Hunter Pence option. They're going to work with him there because he struggled with the Giants, even though he did drive in a lot of runs and he was a big inspiration to the team. So I don't think you can decline the option, especially trading for him. You're not going to trade for a guy and then with the value they put of Hunter Pence and then not at least take his option. I mean, that just doesn't make too much sense. If he is really struggling with the Giants somehow go out of it, you still have a valuable trade asset. So, you really don't know what's going to happen this year. I think the Giants are setting themselves up to go to the World Series again. I'm not saying they will go to the World Series again, but I think you look at the team, it's a World Series caliber team. I think that's the important thing to look at. The relief pitching is fantastic for the Giants. It was great in the postseason, and a lot of the same guys are coming back. The main free agents you have to look out for are Marco Scutaro, and if he doesn't sign, then do they sign Ryan Theriot? Do they sign Freddie Sanchez if they can't sign Scutaro? I think Scutaro will get a deal. I don't think they will re-sign Pagan. They'll either look at free agency in center field. They might even try to re-sign Melky Cabrera at a cheap contract. Okay, maybe not cheap, but definitely cheaper than it would have been if he didn't get caught and suspended for 50 games. I mean, this is a guy who could have been in line for a 4 or 5 year deal worth $12 to $15 million per year. I mean, he was putting up absolutely insane numbers, and I think the inconsistency in years would definitely scare some teams off of offering, $18 million per year. You want to get that. He would get like 12 to 15, I think. But he would have got a big payday. Either way, I think Melky Cabrera would be a great addition to this team. It would be a great addition to any team. I don't know why teams would be scared to go for it. I think you have to look at talent on this point. He doesn't seem to be a problem in the clubhouse. Yes, he made a mistake, obviously, and that was a big part of why the numbers were so well, but he is a very good hitter, and I think he will get I think a lot of teams will be after him. I think a lot of teams will act like they don't want to be involved with him, but at the end of the day, he's a pretty good value for most teams. So the Giants could re-sign him. You never know what's going to happen here. They're having a pretty successful offseason. Coming back from World Series win, it's going to be hard to repeat, but this team is definitely setting themselves up nicely, signing Jeremy Affeldt 3 years, $18 million. And I think the big picture of this is, yes, the winner will probably be Jeremy Affeldt over the Giants, and even more so, Sean Burnett of the Washington Nationals and pretty much any left-handed reliever out there. But Sean Burnett's getting the most attention because he's only 30 years old. He had a fantastic year with the Nationals last year. It doesn't look like the Nationals will re-sign him, and there could be any team looking for relief pitching going out there, going for a 3, maybe even 4-year deal worth $5 to $6 million per year. I think you get a 4-year, $20 million could be realistic. On other years, it would have been crazy. But this market favors outfielders, relief pitchers, and really any elite free agent with a market that it's a flooded market, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's with elite free agents. It's a really weird market. It's hard to analyze this coming back from last year with Albert Pujols and Prince Field and all the others. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Very interesting seeing the signing, a solid signing for the Giants. Thanks for watching.